Jenkins!
Leroy!
Okay, we already did that once. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Legend Hunters Podcast.
Where apparently
we're celebrating the anniversary of Leroy Jenkins!
Do you have to do that every single time? I'm pretty sure you've killed everyone's eardrums by now.
It's like Afro Bull! You have to say it like it sounds, like it writes.
Like a man! Okay.
And thank you guys for peeking the mic. God.
Well, we're getting it out of the way early.
Yes.
Alright.
Alright, but anyway, yes, May 10th, this past May 10th, is the official 10-year anniversary of the Leroy Jenkins moment of World of Warcraft.
Wow. Now I feel old.
No. I just want to confirm. Was this the date that the video was released?
Or video released.
Oh, okay, the video released. The actual Leroy Jenkins thing happened a little bit before that.
But this is the 10-year of the video going up, which is when everyone knows about it.
So that meme is officially 10 years old. Can we officially say that meme is now dead?
Absolutely not. The military has used it.
Really?
Yes, they actually have the term in their dictionaries referring to going in prior to any orders or plan.
As a Leroy Jenkins.
Yes.
Where's my screen pillow? Where's my screen pillow? I need it.
Actually, I find...
Thank you.
Yes, they actually do reference it, they actually reference the video and the event and say, yeah, we need to reference this and we actually have a name for it now.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Dear God.
Although it also says something about the Army if they're using internet memes for references of that stuff.
Well, it would also say something.
What the hell would they call a goatsy?
I don't want to have to explain that to any of you. I hope I don't have to explain that to any of you, because if I do, I'm pretty sure we're going to leave some mental scars here today, gentlemen.
Just Google it and watch the scars form.
Zero, what mental scars have you formed over the past week?
Okay, well, the last week was my finals week.
Yay! Finals are over!
The week before?
The week before.
Okay.
Was finals week, and dear God, that was a rough week. I had a mental breakdown on Wednesday for the first exam.
See, I'm glad that I don't have to do that this year.
You lucky bastard. And now, with this week happening, I have now gotten a job with my mentor at the university to start watering plants again.
Huzzah!
Huzzah indeed, but that may make the schedule a little funky for me.
Yeah, it'll work out. It'll work out.
What about games? We'll see what we can do.
What about games? Game-wise?
Game-wise, well, just a couple of days ago, I picked up Persona 3 FES for the PlayStation 2.
Yes, and gotta say, awesome, dude! Just awesome!
Yeah, I've looked up on Amazon for that game. It goes for like $40 to $50. I got it at the local game store area for us.
The off-brand GameStop.
Yeah.
That we have that basically has everything digital media related.
Yeah, including DVDs, movies, etc.
Well, they have...
And games.
Yeah, they don't have GameCube games.
Everything except...
Actually, they did have GameCube games.
I don't recall seeing...
Yeah, they have GameCube games.
Yeah,
they don't have GBA, though.
Yeah, the cartridges are gone.
They're missing anything cartridge-based or anything that has 3X behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you can't sell those.
You can. You just have to seal them off from the general public.
Anywho's it. I got this one. The disc is near perfect. There's like maybe one tiny scratch, and I got it for $20.
Which is really nice if you know and if you've seen. Do you remember the bouncer from the mall that we got the local mall?
The Bouncer video game.
The Bouncer video game by Square Enix.
Yeah.
It's an early PS2 era fighting game done by Square Enix, and it's apparently so rare that that GameStop still is selling it for $59.99.
Oh God.
Yeah. They're going to keep that in their stock,
and they're not dropping it. They haven't dropped the price for that particular game.
It's a horrible game. Keep in mind.
And it's a horrible game, but apparently the price is not depreciating at all.
Make horrible game and still make a profit.
It's like the Atari 26. It's like the ET for the Atari 2600. How it sold for like at least $1,000 per intact cassette once they found the graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because at that point it was no longer a game; it was a part of video game history.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like burying a chicken bone in the backyard. At first, that chicken bone's not going to be worth anything, but give it time, let it fossilize, and then some jerk off in the future
is going to go ahead and find it
and say, "Oh my God, somebody was here."
It's like
it's $1 million.
I'm trying to remember. There's an archaeological term for fossilized dinosaur shit.
Which I remember there is, but I don't remember for the life of me what it was called.
I know, but it's like that in which it's just fossilized shit.
Well, but it's not just fossilized shit. It's dino shit.
It's dino shit, which instantly makes it valuable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, give a turd a couple of million years, and it will become worth something.
It'll become gold.
Yeah.
Hey, we figured out alchemy. It's just going to be we're going to be dead when that alchemy happens.
Well, there is actually another way you can make a lot of gold, but that also involves shit. Whale shit.
Oh yeah.
That stuff they call floating gold, basically.
Yeah,
because not only that, but apparently
it's used a lot in beauty cosmetics.
Yeah, it's used.
Yeah, have you ever? Okay,
it's in perfume.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Whales
No. Go into your bathroom and look at the back of your shampoo or conditioner and scroll down the ingredients until you find the ingredient urea. And guess what that is? It's exactly as it sounds.
Urea, aka urine.
I think you're in big trouble for saying that.
Anyway, what else have I been...
Don't treat the word like Uranus.
Yeah, I don't want to piss him off.
Anyway, what else...
Why are we going into the word of Scatologia? Let's move on. Zero, what else did you play?
Well, me and Leo have been doing a little bit of playing ourselves.
Yeah, we've been working on something, but we'll talk about that more towards the end of the show.
Yeah, other than that, I played a little bit of Shovel Knight, and let's see. I played through Bayonetta about a couple dozen times over practicing.
Good, we're going to need it.
Yeah, we're going to need it. Let's see, what else have I been doing? Give me a moment, my brain will kickstart in a second. I got nothing.
Nope,
it's stalling.
Alright, why don't I go ahead and give you some thinking time? Let me go ahead and go over my week for a bit.
Fair enough.
I've been doing I've just been doing a lot of research for our current Let's Play. I've been playing a lot of Bayonetta. I've gotten back onto playing some my favorite PC game to play, Fallout. And so I've been going back and playing modded Fallout 3. Been doing not too much Pokemon recently, although I plan to get back into it and do a little bit more with Heart Gold again. Other than that, I've been doing a lot more watching of Let's Plays and a lot more news watching, because there has been a lot of shit going on. And just to briefly take up a little bit of time, there's some more PT news. I think that I didn't want to put in here because it's not actually public, but it's worth noting anyway.
Okay.
So, as we reported last time, it's now illegal to sell on eBay PS4s with copies of PT preloaded in them.
Alright. So what's the update?
So the update is, number one, is that Konami has pulled the share play function out of PT, which was share play for PS4 is a function that lets you go ahead and play with someone else who doesn't have the game, kind of like the download play that Nintendo used to have.
Wow.
So they ripped that out of PT, so you cannot share play with someone anymore.
And Konami is continuing to be an even bigger douche nozzle.
Well, we'll find out more as soon as we finish off with this part of the podcast. Other things that I've been doing, been doing a lot of shopping, actually, just a lot of miscellaneous walking around and getting stuff that I need, and it just a lot of walking around in general.
Yeah, getting ready for the move out, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, so I gotta get all that ready, and just paperwork still that I need to work on. Other than that, it's been actually kind of dull outside of Fallout.
I wish it had been dull.
How was your week?
It was beyond dull.
Oh,
Dull would have been exciting for me, because I also had finals to go through.
Oh yeah, that's why he was completely AWOL during Skype.
Yep, I was pretty much gone throughout the entire week or so, because I needed to dedicate all my time to study. And yeah, I'm just glad that it's all over, at least for a little while. I am going to be taking summer courses.
Yeah, so our schedule's going to be again a little bit messed up, but we'll work around it. I almost started talking like the priest from Princess Bride there. Work around.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together.
I really do need to get that DVD. I swear to God.
Yes, it's a real classic. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah. Anyway,
other than finals, any time that I have had outside of finals, I did do a little bit of gaming, and games on my list, and this may be surprising. Bayonetta was not one of them. Dark Souls was not one of them.
That's another shocker.
Monster Hunter was a big part of it.
No surprise there.
And the other half was spent playing Conception 2.
What?
Which I bought from Leo Force.
Why?
There's a term for it called morbid curiosity. And I gotta say, for all the flack that I had been hearing about it, I'm not having a bad time with it.
Really?
Yeah, it's something new for me. I have played Atlas games before, so I know that they do love their little jokes. And I will admit there are quite a few
that aren't sex related.
Yes, quite a few that aren't sex related. And at the same time, it's a lot tamer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it is actually pretty tame in all things considering. It's still kind of awkward.
I don't know. I kind of have a loose.
It's like that awkward waifu asphyxiation.
No, the thing that does it for me is the point to where the priest goes ahead and says you have to go ahead and what was the exact term for it? Classmating.
Yes.
Classmating for the purposes of breeding the most powerful star children. And the moment breed is ever brought into a sentence between two teenagers, something has gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, joy, eugenics!
Oh, by the way, there's tri-mating.
It's magical eugenics.
Yeah.
That suddenly goes ahead and it involves...
The most that ever happens between the gentlemen and the ladies is basically they hold hands, they share a magical power, and out from a little Matryoshka pops a doll.
Yeah.
A living doll that will transform back into a Matryoshka if they should fall in battle. So, basically...
Self-contained Pokemon.
Yeah. But, self-contained Pokemon crossed with Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest? Slightly, as far as the battle system goes. Yeah, and the classes and whatnot. But it's, at the same time, I kind of have a little bit of an issue as well with the idea that basically, whenever I go into a dungeon with all my kids and the person that made them with me, it's basically a family outing.
Yeah, and that's kind of the sad in-joke.
Yeah.
It gets even weirder when you have different girls other than the one that were the mothers of the Star Children.
Hello, I'm bringing your stepmother in for a little family outing.
And then you suddenly realize how disturbing it becomes.
Yeah.
And then you get calls from all the other girls while you're on the mission.
Yeah. But to be fair, they all know that they're all part of a group sort of deal.
It still doesn't make it any less awkward.
This is the weirdest way to give a pro to polygamy that I've ever heard of.
I mean, it's more of a game mechanic than anything else.
I know, but my mind is just thinking about those weird Mormon couples out in the far Netherlands.
Well, to be fair, like there are Mormon couples who practice that, and then there's the weird offshoot ones where it gets ethically questionable.
Okay.
And this is where my mind is going.
Okay, I just want to say my personal critiques about what I've seen so far, and they aren't necessarily ethical ones. They are involving the gameplay and what I saw from the game. Critique number 1. The male voice actor for your main character is lame! So lame!
Okay, so there is something I do remember about that, and that one of the first times you see yourself, because it actually has this weird experience where it actually shows you
point of view.
Fuka and the protagonist's best friend first.
Yeah, Fuko and Klotz, yeah.
Why is her name Fuko?
Well, Fu.
Anyway,
It's a name.
Anyway,
It's a name.
But
It's
so,
a name.
anyway, so it starts off with them initially, and then monster attack, I think. And
Yeah,
then
monster attack.
And then cutscenes showing your protagonist badassery,
Yes.
and then you actually hear him speak.
And that's where I just went, no!
It's the DMC problem, I think.
Yeah, because, well, okay, the DMC problem being like a cheesy voice actor.
Like it looks awesome, but then you actually see it in like, oh.
Yeah. So basically,
So
if I may imitate just a little bit what the voice actor sounds like. All right.
Oh,
God!
I completely forgot that was his voice.
Yes.
Oh dear.
So you can obviously tell at
All
this.
right. I'm going to classmate with you. And
so-
here I am going. I will strangle you with a rubber chicken
Oh yeah. So
Why a rubber chicken?
because it hurts more.
May I make a amendment to go ahead and say your second critique, and if it's not the same critique, I would like to make an addendum to that. So
An
go ahead.
amendment to that?
Yeah.
Well,
so start with what's your second critique?
Well, personally, I do like the fact that I can basically take my time and whatnot.
Okay.
There's no time.
Okay,
like
so let me make
Persona games.
so the second amendment is going to be to that first statement about your character being about the character's voice being lame,
All right.
and that is going to be that as soon as you actually go to your main hub and plot things happen, it's determined that not only does your character have protagonist armor, but they have the fanciest and the most godly protagonist armor. Because
they actually reference that in game. The fact that basically all of the armor that you're wearing was not only designed by the tech industry that's apparently working this, but also by the leading designer.
But no, that's not
In
actually
the world.
That's not what I'm referencing. I'm referencing the point where you go where the class meeting actually happens for the first time,
All right.
and the priest, who is sort of like the daycare man of that universe, goes in and says, "Holy shit! Not only was this successful because apparently you can actually fail at this, but also you were able to do twins on the first try.
Not just twins, you get triplets.
Triplets on the first try." And they run some tests on you, and then the machine explodes because it realizes you are the apex Adon of this world. You are supposed to be like the ultimate bull in this classmating universe. And the game calls that... do the voice again? Do the voice again?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing too hard to do the voice
But
again.
that squeaky, no-bald asshole is
To be fair, the guy kicks ass. The problem is whenever he opens his fucking mouth.
He needs to do a voice... He
needs about 10 years of scotch.
He needs a glass of Christopher Nolan.
He needs about 10 years of drinking Crystal Pepsi.
And before he starts sounding like Batman. And then we might have something.
So you want him to sound like the cinema snob?
But
I would like him to sound a little bit more.
a little bit more mature, a little bit more manly. But again, he is literally like the literal alpha.
Yes.
And he sounds like that.
And he sounds like Gulliman.
So anyway,
He sounds like Michael Jackson post-surgery.
post-surgery if he were 10 still.
Yes!
It's
horrible!
Creepy.
Yes, it is, exactly.
Okay, can we move away from this god-awful game and go on to something else?
No, he still has to continue his critique.
Yeah, well, other little things that I found odd about the game. Let me see. Well, just at first it was just, well, I don't know, how do I say this?
Keep in mind, I bought this game for Leo as a joke game.
Yes, and then he sold it to me out of more
curiosity.
That and you probably wanted to get a refund.
No.
No.
But anyway.
This transaction's fine. I'll probably keep the game. I'll play it. Maybe sell it one day if I get bored.
But anyway.
The other thing that I kind of had a little bit of a problem with was music.
Oh yeah, the music was kind of meh.
Well, with regard to the title theme, yeah, it's annoying. With regard to in battle, is not as bad. And I swear to you, the menu theme for when you're actually selecting what class the kid is supposed to be when you actually do the deed.
It's the most hyped up thing in the world.
is so stupidly catchy that I swear to you I was whistling it on accident in the shower this morning. God damn it! Why did we make something like that the main theme?
I don't know.
So just awkward, like, music
So
creation?
so kind of schizophrenic music in terms of
Well, it's
enjoyment.
not schizophrenic. It's just that when you know that when you scroll over the home, when you're on the home menu on the DS screen and you scroll over the image, it gives a little jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the title theme is the jingle.
Oh God.
And it's nothing but the jingle.
Yes, and okay.
All right then.
The last thing is about the characters. Okay, I've already said my piece about the male character. The ladies are not that bad. Honestly speaking, they're not that bad, but at the same time, I've yet to see their entire story, but it feels like I'm kind of just like helping them solve life problems.
Which is less of a boyfriend thing and more of what a psychiatrist would do.
Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure that's most of what your main character does in the Persona games a little bit.
That's also true, and
That
that is a
being
staple of Atlas.
That being said, though, this is that approach is more of you're actually doing things. For example, in the Atlas world, when you interact with these people, example, I think like the sports clubs, you're actually in the sports club and doing stuff with them.
Yes.
Versus this is almost, at least for the opening, it's literally just talk and text.
Yeah, talk, text, and every now and then go into a dungeon, which actually does help progress relationships.
Right,
in its own way.
But at least at the opening, it doesn't. The anxiety of battle, which could be played up quite a bit, doesn't.
Yeah, the battles aren't really frantic, which I've seen a lot of in Persona games.
Right,
And other Atlas games in general.
and I think that personally, that's one of the other things because the battle system in that involves you rotating around the enemies to attack them on their sides and back vulnerable areas.
Yes.
And my kind of issue with that is that they skate. You've seen that the movement when they go around to rotate to the side or the back, it's like they skate.
Well,
You know what?
So
when I see the combat when I remember the combat for Conception, I remember seeing it in the trailers, and I think about the latest Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover. They kind of seem to line up a little bit.
now, I actually didn't have a problem with the sliding thing. Because when I was in martial arts, we actually learned how to do exactly that. It was actually one of our techniques.
Yeah, I think they just make it too absurd in that game. That's my opinion.
My big problem was with the elements.
The elements?
Yes, apparently you have a fire, a water, earth, air, light, darkness, all the six elements. Six traditional elements of RPG. They do nothing, from what I've seen.
So far?
From what I've seen, granted.
You haven't seen like a whole weakness light up when you hit an enemy.
No, because you're already technically striking their weak point by smacking them in the ass.
Ah.
So regardless of what element
you kind of see that we haven't gotten the spells. I think
I have gotten a few spells.
Yeah, but I mean, like we haven't got like everyone has the starter spells are nothing special.
Right.
I mean, and that's my opinion with like a couple of exceptions, but generally, it's kind of like fire, ice, and thunder at the start of Final Fantasy 1. They're nothing special, and unless you hit something that's super weak to it, it's not going to do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my opinion as far as this is concerned.
Okay, watch out. I thought you were going to sneeze there.
Yeah, I thought I was, but no, that's kind of my feeling with that.
Yeah, there is no real, like, oh, hey, critical hit. Like, I got a super effective hit. There's no real way to tell either.
By the way, we've been going over this for about 12 minutes now.
I was going to say
time.
12 minutes. I think
All right, so last thing, and this is not Conception. The Monster Hunter thing, I'm building the group, it's bigger. Okay, there we go.
All right.
Moving on.
All right. So finally, some Pokemon news for once, but none of it related to video games.
God damn it!
Okay, so the first thing there are two things here. The first is that the United States is actually going to get a mystery gift event.
Holy fuck, we are actually getting one.
Yeah, and this one is the only one that's been announced of its kind, so we're actually getting it first.
All right.
Which is
I wonder if this is their version of an apology.
It's a Rolling Sky.
We'll
Rolling
see.
Skies Dragonite.
So if the Roaring Skies TC trading card set is coming out in mid June, or it's already out, and they're celebrating by giving the United States a Dragonite that comes with Dragon Dance, Extreme Speed, Hurricane, and Outrage,
With multi-scale.
With multi-scale?
With multi-scale, I think it's level
nice.
55.
It's level 55, nature's random.
That doesn't sound too bad.
And then the other thing is that they released some details about Hoopla as far as in-game work. And that what is mentioned is that that the form change is done through an item much like the Dream Mirror.
Yeah, I've actually looked into someone who's actually data mined the game, and that's actually how it's done. You get a lamp from a guy at a store.
It's called the Prison Bottle.
Yes, it's called the Prison Bottle, and it's what allows you to change its form. And apparently, its upgraded form is a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think we discussed the image of when Hoopla's second form was leaked.
Yeah, and its stats
and the stats change. But the biggest thing is that my problem with it is that it's taken this long for them to get around to the second hidden Pokemon, and we still have one more to go.
Yeah, Volcanion.
Volcanion. So
I call it Volcanion because it looks like an eye on that channel too.
Anyway, we still waiting for that one. So what's going, Game Freak? Let's hurry it up.
Maybe they're making the plans for the next game.
No, they're not that.
They're not that effective.
Efficient.
Anyway, so moving on, let's talk about the douchebag of the week.
All right.
Which we have several of.
Oh joy!
I think we have about 4 this week. So
Scott Cawthorn.
No, Scott Cawthorn is not the douchebag of the week.
Going to the iTunes and finding that FNAF has been ripped off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's not the douche. He's the victim.
He's hunting a douche.
Douche hunters.
I don't think that works out as much as we'd like that to believe.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, because if that's the case, I'm pretty sure all of Congress would be taken down.
No, I'm pretty sure it'd be a slightly different show on the Oxygen Network.
God damn it!
So, what's the deal? So, apparently someone on iTunes went ahead and posted a fake FNAF 4 to go ahead and sell as much of the... and get as much of the idiot's money as soon as possible before it got eventually shut down. Now, the problem is that Scott Cawthorn is actively pursuing this person. So rather than just it being shut down, he wants to go ahead and sue the people responsible for this.
I can see that.
Now, naturally, because of the fact that it's done through companies, he has to go through iTunes in order to find out who actually did this.
And iTunes is being a complete douche now.
Well, because the reason they have to go through the proper legal paperwork. So even if they wanted to help them, they still have to do this.
Yeah.
But the douchebaggery thing about this is that they ripped off FNAF 4, which is arguably one of the best horror franchises thus far.
Yeah,
of modern history.
It is, as of right now, the best horror game to have been released in the last decade, from what I can say.
Yeah, because of how crazily popular it's become.
I don't know. I think some people would say Resident Evil 4 is still better, but
maybe
it's still. I would say like within recent history. I'm talking like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, because before that we also had Amnesia.
Amnesia. We had the actual the original Slender Man.
Yeah,
true, but I don't think
we've had cycles of popular horror games.
But I would say that Freddy's, for me, it's still the scariest because of the feeling of helplessness that you feel, personally speaking.
I mean, you could debate that between this one and Slender Man, but yeah, I can see where you would come with that. Second one, this was sort of one that we missed last week, but it's still being talked about, so here it goes anyway. Jeremy Renner, the actor who is Hawkeye, bashes Black Widow for being a slut. Not Scarlett Johansson, the actual character Black Widow. Douchebag!
I applauded when I heard that, actually.
Why?
Because it was glorious. He just flat out said it.
And
we were all thinking it. He just said it.
Yeah, and
the thing is,
the thing is, one, he had a chance to apologize when he went out to David Letterman, and he
instead
didn't.
He doubled down,
and he didn't. And the other thing was that it wasn't just Jeremy Renner. The actor who was Captain America also said it around the same time, except he apologized, but not for the reason you think.
He apologized because it was a bad mark on his character.
It was a bad mark for him as Captain America, not as him as
a human being.
Yes.
So I'm already seeing scumball written on both of these guys.
I see heroes.
I see douchebags.
Well,
can't we have douchebag heroes?
Yes.
That's Tony Stark.
Yes, and we love him even more for it.
And yet he hasn't actually said something like that. You would think he'd be the first person on the douche list.
No, he's actually really, really high up in terms of my respect.
Technically, if you've ever looked at the comics, Tony Stark is kind of a supervillain.
He is kind
He's
of
an unintentional. He's an unintentional supervillain, especially with this latest movie.
I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it for me.
Okay.
I've seen enough reviews. No.
Okay.
I don't need to see it. I wanna see it.
Everyone's new favorite hated company is also on this list, Konami.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
So what else have they done that you haven't mentioned already?
Okay, so Konami went ahead and Super Bunny Hop, a YouTuber, went ahead and posted a video regarding speculation regarding Konami and Hideo Kojima as far as the whole Metal Gear Solid PT Silent Hills debacle.
Yeah.
And basically it comes down to another story, which we'll be getting to in a little bit. But before anyone could go any further with it, the video got pulled off YouTube. And Konami cited the unused footage card. Or the footage without my permission card.
Yeah.
I'm calling bullshit.
And YouTube agreed. The image that the footage that they were targeting was 27 seconds in about a 5-minute video that had Metal Gear Rising, which was nothing more than just background to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So YouTube saw through the bullshit and went ahead and brought the video back up.
Holy crap! YouTube did something good.
But again, the entire thing was that Konami wanted to pull this down because they didn't want anyone to know about what they were doing, which didn't matter because they eventually told us anyway.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're trying to cover this up. The news is still talking about it. The more you...
Even
What's the term it's called? It's based on this one celebrity. The more you try to cover shit up, the more it gets exposed.
Yeah, and Guillermo, I don't know what the term is, but Guillermo del Toro released a statement during an interview for a new movie that he was doing, and he was saying like he was really surprised that Konami's doing this whole slash and burn idea as far as PT is concerned, because now PT is going to be one of the most famous games ever.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to remember it now instead of forgetting about it.
Yeah, it's going to become the black market hit.
And he still says like if Kojima goes ahead and tries to bring it back, he'd be totally on board for it. So, I mean, it's not totally lost. And for all we know, it could come back on Kickstarter.
You know what? I wouldn't mind that, especially with the way Kickstarters have been going lately.
Oh yeah,
good God.
We'll be getting to a bit more of that. But the last douchebag of the week, and this is a personal favorite to hate. Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
For any people who actually shelled out for that abysmal excuse of a boxing fight, I pity you fools.
Oh,
Is it weird that I'm not even a boxing fan and I was rooting for Pacquiao?
Yeah, because Mayweather is that much of a douche.
Oh yeah, isn't there like abuse charges circling around? him?
Yeah, and the joke is always that he got it backwards. He was hugging his enemy in the ring and punched his wife.
Ooh.
Oh.
But anyway, if for anyone who wisely decided to not buy money to watch that fight and want to see basically what it was done on a more video game friendly view, there's a video out that goes ahead and shows that fight as done in the style of Punch-Out.
Which Leo kindly showed to me, and I was like, what the hell?
I saw it on my own time, and I laughed.
Yeah.
I just had to laugh.
It's pretty funny, all things said and done.
All things said, I will say that clinching is an acceptable tactic, if not a very, very flashy one.
That's what they said about camping there. It's a legitimate strategy.
It's a legitimate strategy. However, when you abuse the crap out of it, when you make a point of not actually fighting, but going back to back just to wear out your opponent, or anything like that, or camp, as you're saying, when you are doing something like that just to stall out the rounds, that's bullshit. You're not displaying any
skill.
You could be displaying a type of skill in that you're avoiding a fight, but we're here for a fight. People paid hundreds of dollars for it.
Yeah. People wanted to see people punching each other silly.
Well, not just that.
Not a hug out.
Boxing is a wonderful sport in its own right, if done right.
I have no
I have a lot of
arguments there.
respect for a boxer. They go through some incredible stuff. If you're a pro, I have top marks. Dude, you are awesome. Just for being a pro.
Although, given the way this fight was going on,
given the way the fight was going,
I think Floyd Mayweather is a better shot at the WWE than anything else.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so what else do we have? Okay, so into the news now, into actual news.
More Konami crap.
And
how much Konami crap can we get through within 2 weeks?
This is where
Konami's going for a world record, and this is the last bit, thankfully.
Yeah, this is the last bit. So Konami went ahead and came out with the reasoning behind their recent downsizing, and that's because they're going mobile.
What?
They are completely canceling all their game things and moving all their game companies to work on mobile games.
Yeah, they're canceling console titles and going to mobile, and that's basically the gist of their whole movement.
Okay.
And they're not only that,
think tank.
They are also doing the fact that they're saying it's the future of gaming, but they're going for the whole pay-to-play microtransaction bullshit.
Well, again,
I can't stand.
That's the thing is that this is a monetary decision. They're not thinking about the art of gaming, and to be honest, they're going for the easy money because there's money to be made in games, as we'll get to later. But the fact is, they want to go ahead and do it the cheapest way possible, which is through mobile gaming.
Cheapest way, not even think of people as people, but thinking of them as walking, consuming mouths.
Yes, and that's how the business works. It's a business. You don't care about the people's feelings, or as long as you're making money.
If you want to be a successful company.
Not necessarily.
True.
And if there's anyone who should emphasize that, it's Donald Trump, who is arguably more offensive than some people who I'd rather not name. But let's go ahead and say that when it comes to making monetary-based decisions, he's good at them.
Yeah.
So again, that's what we're looking at here. It's not about the art form. It's not about the consumer. It's about the at the end of the day profits. And apparently it seems that Konami wants to do it the easy way rather than a way. They're going for the short term, and they'd rather go ahead and cash out rather than go ahead and stick for the long term. And that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
Which I personally feel like is not a good move.
And again,
I will go ahead and let me go ahead and say my piece. With this movement, with this announcement that they've done, Konami has officially. I'm done with Konami. I am done completely.
See, my problem with what Konami's doing is what I'm saying here is that they're not widening their audience; they're narrowing it.
They're narrowing it,
and that doesn't seem monetarily feasible.
Well, the thing about that, and this is kind of again what you brought up, is that you may not even have to worry about boycotting Konami, because as far as we are concerned, if they fail and go under as a company, you won't even have to worry about it.
I wonder how much my Yu-Gi-Oh cards will be worth after Konami sinks.
Now, I think Konami might sell off Yu-Gi-Oh to like Wizards and let them run it, and that will be some interesting things on that front. But as far as games are concerned, we're going to cover very shortly that that's not entirely out of the question, and that there are going to be replacements to that.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to play another Konami game. I'm never even going to purchase any games from Konami in the future.
Well, I do want to bring up. Hang on.
They are now on my list of boycotted game companies.
I do want to point out that Nintendo was also on our list of boycotted games, and we are now playing Bayonetta on the Wii U.
Keep in mind, Konami would, if you say that to Konami, it basically means absolutely no Castlevania in any fashion, or any Metal Gear Solid should we ever attempt to do anything similar. So, I mean, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Exactly.
Or don't go ahead and try to scramble them before you find out they're good or bad.
I'm saying any future Konami games.
But
I'm not saying anything about the past.
Anyway.
Although I'm wondering if they'll decide to try to flag them all now.
That's also an interesting question, but that would be more shit for the next podcast.
Anyway,
let's actually talk about the other side of this, which is Hideo Kojima.
This one was kind of cool and kind of sweet, though I'm still not entirely sure what to think about it.
So, the creators of Goat Simulator, in response to Kojima's name being pulled from Metal Gear Solid 5, retroactively gave him credit for Goat Simulator.
Wait, what?
So, retroactively, Hideo Kojima can now be credited for Goat Simulator.
Yes!
And if I recall, I saw the credits saying, "Please bring back PT, please."
Yes, and at the credits end, it does have a plea for bringing back a playable trailer.
I will say this: I think Goat Simulator is the only simulator game that I actually got a good chuckle out of.
I mean, but that's kind of the point. It was supposed to mock like the farming, the driving simulators, the train simulator. That's what it was supposed to mock.
I know.
And it's even funnier because now it has a zombie spin-off called Goat Z. Where you play as zombie goats.
Why do they call it that?
Why not?
Because
the hell
DayZ, Zombie U, they have...
No, it sounds like Goatsy.
Hey,
God
here
damn
we
it.
are again. God damn it.
You know, I think I found a good title for this podcast.
No.
I'm pretty sure we would get flagged if we used that title.
Yes, we would.
Anyway, let's move on to some other things. Good news for people who thought Nintendo was going down the shitter. It's profitable now.
Huzzah!
Yeah, apparently, ever since 2012, its profits has been...
They've been they haven't been profiting. They've been losing money.
Yeah, they've been losing money since 2012.
And that's why earlier in some of the podcast episodes, I showed that report where it's like they could take losses like these for 50 years and still be okay.
Yeah.
But this is a good sign of relief that they're coming back. The main thing that saved them was basically Mario Kart 8 and Smash.
Yeah, and
which prompted the selling of many Wii U's.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've even started to say, we're sorry for the lack of amiibos, we're going to try to dish out more.
Yeah, so
yes.
The other, in a similar related vein, they are addressing the Wii, the amiibos, and given some of the announcements as far as like more amiibos for like Woolly World and amiibos for other Nintendo franchises, it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to make it more work outside of like free items or because really the whole thing using them like for Smash or Mario Party 10 are very good innovation uses. Things for like free items for Hyrule Warriors or the new Kirby game for Wii U, not so much.
Not so much, but it's a way to use them. So
but I think the first two examples are more optimal, and I would like to see more of that being done.
You know what? I think I'm going to chuck an amiibo into a pool.
Why?
Because apparently they make pretty good life rafts.
They float?
Yeah, they help Nintendo float. Kept them from going under.
Yeah, that's true.
True. Now start making more Nintendo. I know you can hear me through the microphone of my 3DS in the corner.
And we're online.
And the Wii U.
And we're online.
Yeah, my Wii U's on as well, so... You're hearing it from two different angles!
So, this is a kind of funny one, and I put this here because I watched this dude. The Great Clement's Tron Bonne LP inspires Capcom to re-release The Misadventures of Tron Bonne for PlayStation Network.
Here's a little fun fact for you guys about Tron Bonne when I was a kid. My mom apparently... This was around the time that Grand Theft Auto was starting to make headlines for
San Andreas
with the whole hot coffee mess, I think. And my mom had found that I got in this game, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. I had told Mom it's a game where you play as a pirate and steal stuff, and she saw me playing the level where I was robbing a bank.
Uh-oh.
So here's what she did. She decided to take the game and hide it away from me. And I ended up finding it when I decided to snoop one day. I found it in her dresser drawer, and I decided to do, you know what? When Mom's out of the house, I will be playing it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was a little asshole back then. But then again, Mama Zero wasn't exactly...
And that's why Zero got punished for going through Mama Zero's boudoir.
It wasn't a boudoir, damn it.
You never said it wasn't.
Anyway, seeing the Great Clement Let's Play the game sent a wave of nostalgia over for me, and the fact that it's going to be on the PlayStation Network is it's making me want to get it. The problem,
it's $5.
I know,
as opposed to the $200 it was selling before.
Yeah, the disc itself costs like $200 on eBay, which is bullshit. So that's a little good news.
Mm-hmm. What else do we have here? Okay, so now to the big thing. Now to the Indie Horror Corner.
Okay, so quick update on Yooka-Laylee. It is now over 2.3 4 million US dollars.
which is about 1.6 million pounds.
And the second it gets to 2 million pounds, they will have free DLC for everyone who backs the game up.
I need to get on board with this shit.
Yeah.
All right. So news coming out. So we talked about Konami going under, but the franchise that we love, Castlevania, is still going to be around.
Well, you like Castlevania. I've never played a game.
Well, you need to play this
game. I think I have played a game, but
because it's very much like Shovel Knight, but then give him different weapons. And that's I guess the core of Castlevania that is where a lot of Shovel Knight comes from. Castlevania is part of it.
Okay.
And so the mastermind behind that, Koji Igarashi, is making a new game based on the staple Symphony of the Night and his franchise Castlevania with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Oh,
it even sounds like the game.
And let me go ahead and I'll open up the Kickstarter page. But this thing has been really good. So the whole point of this is that it's a throwback to Castlevania, much like how Mighty Number 9 was for Mega Man.
Yeah, which they
hopefully more successful.
Yes, and it will be because it currently has $2.145 million.
And its goal was bigger than Yooka-Laylee's, but
it still overcame it. So, what do we currently have as far as goals? Well, we have
500,000.
Well, aside from the goal being of 5,000 released, art books for people who purchased awards are now going to be hardcover. There will be a second playable character, Nightmare difficulty mode. They got David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake, to voice act one of the characters.
Holy crap!
They're putting in cheat codes, as only Konami should actually do.
Yeah.
Local side-by-side co-op, new boss, speedrun mode, and a boss rush mode at the 2 million mark.
And on top of all that,
and at 2.25 million, they will be adding a retro level, and at 2.5, they will be adding classic mode,
which hopefully will go ahead and bring back some nice movements from the original game.
Yeah.
Now that being said, this is actually a pretty expensive Kickstarter. Why? Because the first tier is $5, and the next tier after is $28.
Wow. Damn.
But the 28 level gets you the digital copy, and at 60 you get a physical copy, which is pretty interesting.
You get a physical,
which
means effectively buying the disc that you get it on.
Yeah. But they are releasing this for Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Yeah.
Just so I can be clear.
And to compare to Yooka-Laylee, kind of, they're not doing a physical copy for Yooka-Laylee, but for $23 US dollars, you will get a digital copy for a console. So Xbox One, PS4, Wii U.
That being said, this is a money dump if you've ever wanted things from your reward. For example, among the things they actually are going to release a print map that features the castle interior with all the hidden goodies located.
The architect's secret map.
They are also going to have things such as at the $1,500 level, which is currently gone, a picture of you hanging in the castle itself. There's also
okay. I hope it's not a picture of me being hung in the castle.
No, it's gonna be like you being like it's like those painted portraits of noble people, and it would be like that.
Kind of like with that level in Shovel Knight, kind of.
Just like that.
Yeah, in the Ghost Castle, they have things like designing weapons in the game, actually getting a blood-stained themed glass-stained panel, and even an actual weapon. An actual weapon from the game made for you.
Oh, that is wow.
There's even a custom ring that is made by that is from Koji Igarashi himself at the 7,500 level.
One hell of a wedding ring, I'll say that.
There's also the $3,000 level, which allows you to transform your pet into an enemy class.
A demon dog.
Aw.
$3,000 to make a demon dog.
$5,000
Hey Sam, you derp, you want to be in the game?
$5,000.
No.
$5,000 to go ahead and actually make an enemy of your own kind into the game.
Wow.
And for the full 10,000, for the full 10K, you actually get everything mentioned, in addition to adventuring with Kogi Igarashi himself.
You get to meet the man himself.
And go and eat, be scary, and stream with him.
Holy crapski.
So yeah, this is a big thing going on.
Yeah.
So as far as like the franchise is concerned, we're seeing this is if Mighty Number 9 was the revival of Mega Man and Yooka-Laylee is the revival of
3D platformers,
Banjo-Kazooie, then this is a revival of Castlevania.
And this is exactly as I said would happen. I did say when Konami breaks apart and goes down, this sort of thing will start happening.
Well, it's already happening, so it's already looking good.
Yes,
apparently,
like I said.
Apparently, Legend is highly prophetic.
I have always said that I'm psychic.
All right, so
you're a psychic type and you're a ghost type.
All right, so the other thing we have on here is ICBM.
Yes, this one.
which is basically the explosive Cold War joke.
Really?
Yep. So the premise of the game
is that you're the operator of the ICBMs during the Cold War.
Yep, you're the guy who presses the button and launches the nuke.
Well, not unless it's the right time to launch the nuke.
Not unless it's the right time. Yes.
Oh God, I wonder what the Cuban Missile Crisis would be like in that game.
Well, it's not the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's specifically during the era of the Cold War.
I know, and that was also during the Cold War.
Yeah,
as well.
but this is after the Cold.
Okay, specifically, you are waiting for the order to press the button, right? It's never going to come.
Yeah.
And that's the joke. You are sitting there in front of a screen doing nothing.
So you're playing in front of a screen as a guy playing in front of a screen.
Yes. That's actually yes.
Yes. And I remember the creator having a few comments to say like, yeah, I have nothing against the military. I grew up in a military family, yada yada. But you gotta admit, when the government pays these people, these fine, wonderful young people, to go out and study all of these computers and whatnot, just so they can sit in front of a computer screen and do nothing. Why don't you tell me if there's something funny about that?
To just go from funny to scary. You know the fact that the U.S. has not bothered to repair any of the missile silos for the nukes. So everything's still running on stuff from the Cold War. Even the doors don't work and all this stuff. They're using floppy disks the size of my head.
Well, again, there is that thing about infrastructure, but that's more politics than anything else.
True,
right?
But that's still kind of a dark thought.
All right, but yeah, the joke of the game is that you are sitting in front of a screen, doing nothing.
The game is free also, guys, so feel free to download it.
Feel free to download it just for fun. And I believe that they do have, like, Ronald Reagan having speeches there every day.
Yeah, I believe there are some Ronald Reagan jokes on it.
Oh, dear God. This, you know what? That's a lot more boring than what my dad's job was in the military.
And moving on. All right, so it's time. So get ready for E3, folks. E3 is around the corner. Let's build up some of that E3 hype.
I don't think I saw anything that I actually wanted to.
So there's three things I kind of want to go over. The first is Fallout 4 coming out.
And
or at least we're hoping it's Fallout 4.
And that'll be for the PS4.
PS4, Xbox One, the whole shebang, PC. I mean,
hast thou abandoned us on the 360, Microsoft and Sony?
Bethesda.
Yeah.
It's Bethesda doing this, but I'm looking forward.
360 and 3.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Fallout 4 looks like.
Well, I might give it a try if I finally manage to raise enough money for a PS4.
All right. Second thing. Nintendo is bringing back the World Championships.
Now
Holy crap!
Now this is something from before any of our times, apparently.
Yeah, but
yes,
I mean, we've all seen The Wizard. I hope.
No.
Well, I've seen enough of it to know what it's about.
We've seen the horrible "It's So Bad."
Yeah.
With the Power Glove.
Yeah,
We at least know that.
Yes, but the big thing.
I've seen the AVG Ed's video on it.
Okay, so. No brief history, I'll just say the big thing. Back in the day, they raced Mario. Now, we're racing Mario with custom-built maps. That's going to be intense. And from what I heard, some of the maps that are used here will actually be included in the next game.
I said they might be. I never said anything confirming it, but because back when they originally did it, the final challenge was actually the unreleased Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
There's the potential that this can be used for newer Mario games.
I wonder if this will be the announcement of maybe a new 3D Mario game.
It might, and that's what I'm posturing on.
Because we do need a new 3D Mario game, because we haven't had one since Galaxy.
3D Land. 3D Land.
Oh, right.
The cat suits.
Yeah, I have no idea why my mind is... Now I remember why my mind's blocked that out. Fucking Meowser!
Meowser.
That's awesome!
Meowser is the coolest.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is! What happens when you combine a turtle demon with a cat? And that's Meowser.
And that is stupid!
It's a furball out of hell.
It's brilliant. Meowser should be a Pokemon. I would catch that Pokemon in an instant.
I hate you guys. I fucking hate you guys.
Alright, and the last thing is that
It's good.
Tekken 7 unleashed the character trailer for Yoshimitsu, the psychotic samurai. And boy, if they're going out in style, they're doing it right for Japan.
Really?
You have not seen the character design? Oh good, we get to capture this live. So
okay.
Take a look at this. I'm just going to show you the intro because the movie is going to take too much time. But I'm going to show you what Yoshimitsu looks like for Tekken 7.
He was already weird to
He was already weird to look at to begin with, but look at this shit.
Holy!
That looks like a cross between a ninja and Cthulhu!
Yeah.
Ninja tentacle.
With a skull face!
Ninja tentacle hentai monster, guys.
The fuck?
Holy hell.
And his outfit looks half cyber as well.
Yeah, well, since I think like 5, they've been going for more cyber tech. But now he's always had an animal motif, but now he's just gone full Japan. Cyber ninja tentacle attack. I don't think there's much more than this.
Holy shit.
Okay, I think that's too much concentrated Japan in one sector.
I've been talking nothing but Japan this entire time.
And trust me, it gets more intense when you actually see him move. So I highly recommend going back and looking at that because he has some crazy bullshit.
He was already doing crazy bullshit before.
And we're talking from a character who uses his two swords like stilts, commits seppuku to actually do damage to the opponent, can actually use the poison mist attack, and will go ahead, grab his sword, spin it with his mechanical arm to fly like a helicopter.
Yeah.
And that's before this.
Like they said.
Alright, so,
Hop on your pogo stick.
So we have some release news and some trailer stuff to come up with. First off, Legend, you're gonna love this.
Absolutely do.
We have Metroid, Mega Man, and Street Fighter DLC coming for Monster Hunter 4U.
Okay, 2 of which I can confirm personally. The Metroid stuff, it does include the Varia suit and the Zero suit as
player armors.
As player armors. As for the Mega Man DLC, I believe that's strictly for the cats.
Mega Man, there's
Chun-Li are for the cats.
Mega Man, Chun-Li, and Blanca are Palico costumes.
Yes.
Palico. Fucking hell.
These guys are awesome. Have you ever seen 2 cats hop onto a rocket, shoot it into Godzilla's face, and then cover his eyes while just scratching at it?
I think I may have had a dream like that once.
Or,
although I may have been high on painkillers.
Oh, and it gets better. Alternatively, constructing a tank out of nothing, and then using that to go after the monster.
Okay, I'm definitely sure I was high on painkillers when I broke my leg when I had a dream like that.
Not even the Moogles can work that fast. And those Moogles are pretty inventive.
Yeah.
Yes.
They invented firearms in the Final Fantasy universe.
Yeah.
Okay, what next on the list? Ratchet & Clank is going to be coming to the PS4 in the spring of 2016.
Oh, huh. I did play, it's weird. I never really played much of Ratchet & Clank when I was a kid.
Loved Ratchet & Clank. They were I played all the big Sony platformers. I played Jak and Daxter, I played Sly Cooper, and I played this. And that was I want to say the PS3 platform trinity for me.
I did play at least the first half of Ratchet and Clank, the first one, but I never got to finish it because it was a friend of mine's.
Although I think between the three, Ratchet and Clank is actually the only one that is going to have a PS4 release, because we only saw one thing from Sly Cooper on PS3, which was done by a different company.
And we're also getting a movie.
And Jak 2 didn't do anything out since it had a PSP follow-up to the original trilogy, and it just sucked.
Yeah, and
So-
wasn't that just like the one called Daxter where...
No. There was another one that was called The Last Frontier, and that was supposed to be Jak and Daxter. And they just made it was handled by a different company, and they made so many changes to the plot, it just ended up terribly.
So I guess that will be considered non-canon by the fans.
It's not canon. It's not canon.
Same with X, if I'm not mistaken.
Mega Man X?
No, Jak X. You know, the racing
Oh,
one.
the racing game. Well, yeah, the weird thing about that one was made by Naughty Dog, and they tried shoehorning it in, but because it's just a racing spin-off, I mean, you could just really write it off that easily.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they try to make some sort of plot relevance to it, but it just so out of place it doesn't even count.
Yeah, I saw the beginning and ending of it, and I was like, nope, not interested.
Yeah, well, the game, it's all just racing, and that's the thing. If you don't like the racing segments from Jak 2 or Jak 3, then you're certainly not going to like
I
Jak.
hated those levels.
Exactly, so yeah, you wouldn't even want to touch
I
it.
hate...
That's all that game was. That's all. It was Jak X Combat Racing.
I never beat Jak 2. I did beat Jak 3. I still don't know how I did it because I hate those racing sections.
Yeah.
I am completely lost in all this.
We have some things from Japan. Dragon Quest VIII is going to be re-released on the 3DS over there.
Woohoo!
Huzzah!
Which I'm hoping is going to be good news for us here in the States, and hopefully we can get a port of that.
I heard it also is going to have extra
It's going to
dungeons.
have new characters, an extra campaign setting, and new dungeons. So we're getting a remix to this fucker.
Now you got me on board on this.
Now, what I'm hoping for is that since I consider Dragon Quest VIII to be the equivalent to Final Fantasy VII, I'm hoping this thing gets like the after years treatment, and we get like an extra, like we get to see a little bit more campaign, or there's more characters. It would be interesting, to say the least, to actually have the princess in the party.
There's
Not
one
as the
other thing.
horse. Not as the horse.
There's one other thing that I would like to
Voice.
I would love to see what they do with the Street Pass on this sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, the Street Pass is going to be. I think.
I'm thinking it'll be like the Monster Arena.
Exactly. That's
Exactly.
what I was going for.
The Monster Arena on Street Pass.
Maybe you can actually level up your monsters now.
No, that they have the Dragon Quest Monsters franchise for that. They just made a light version for the game.
Well, yeah, I can see that they could maybe, like, hey, you crossed someone on Street Pass. Would you like to fight his team?
But no, I think it's more of it would be more of an automatic thing.
Yeah.
But you could watch the replays or do re-challenges through the Street Pass.
I wouldn't mind seeing that, maybe. Or maybe you could just give your...
You know what else I just realized? Maybe, aside from the princess possibly being a post-campaign character, Red being a possible character too.
Ooh, Red.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? She always did strike me as she would be like an extra character. And apparently Japan had a game where you did...
Yeah, there was a game in Japan where you actually played as a younger Yangus, and you go through his story of him and Red's backstory.
And we never got that.
And we never got that here in the States.
Yeah. And it explains how he got his scar as well.
That would be a real nice thing to say now, wouldn't it?
Boy, governor. You know how I got these scars?
Oh, God. Did you just cry?
Yes, I did. I just did that.
Fucking hell.
It's still a meme. Let's move on with all this now, can't we, Governor?
Objection!
And that is now.
And that is the last thing on our list here. We have the Great Ace Attorney.
And what are you doing? You're supposed to be backing me up.
Shut up.
You're my defense attorney.
We're going back in time to Britain, apparently, for some awkward reason.
And meeting Phoenix Wright's ancestor.
We're going to the Meiji era, and
way.
so here's the plot of the Great Ace Attorney.
No.
You are a Japanese policeman in the Meiji era who is going to get legal training and gets shipped to England.
Uh-huh.
And you do your cases there. And you team up with this Sherlock Holmes-looking fellow who has steampunk glasses, and he basically tells you about deductive investigation. Literally looking around and examining both the environment and the characters for clues.
Yep. And yeah,
There's also an interesting new trial mechanic
where there's jury.
It's a jury. It's a jury trial.
Oh,
Where you have to appeal to the jury to weigh if the guy is innocent or guilty.
Oh, that is gonna be. This is,
and the judge has a wig.
of course.
Yeah, he's got an even more fabulous beard,
Oh.
a proper Englishman beard.
And then we also see, guess who? Miles Edgeworth's ancestors too.
Of course,
And he's a prosecutor as well.
Of course.
And we also see Winston Payne's ancestors, who's also a prosecutor.
And he has a top knot.
I need to find this thing.
Well, it's coming out
I
in
need to get
Japan
this.
pretty soon.
And we'll be
They better. Please, guys.
They have to.
port it. Please port it.
You need to.
It
would be criminal of you.
Come
not
on,
to.
Capcom. Also, give us Miles Edgeworth Investigations 2 already as well. I want to find a fan translation.
There
of
is
it.
a fan translation of it.
God damn it.
And it's excellent. It's a wonderful translation.
Link me to a good Let's Play of it, please.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and see if I can find it for you. I've just watched the scene where they do the breakdowns of all the characters, and it's rather funny.
Yeah, I loved the first one, although the final case is.
Yeah,
The final case of very first one.
Final case of the final chapter. in...
Final case of Edgeworth, not the final case of the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Although that one
Damn
is
you,
annoying too.
Quercus! You
Although-
fool!
Although that one is equally annoying too.
Well, it's not annoying. It's just holy crap. Where do you go with it?
Yeah,
I-
I mean that's the whole thing. It's that first thing sets up literally. Not only does it set up his story, but it also sets up Edgeworth's story too, and it kind of culminates rather nicely with Dual Destinies.
All right. Okay.
So,
All right, what's coming up on the channel?
well, besides, we've got a lot of shit coming up. We've got Bayonetta, which now that finals are all over, we can actually have more time to record, so I can set everything up.
We're also doing a Zero and Leo only Let's Play. Sorry, Legend.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't here for it, so.
It's good.
It's
And we're going to be playing the Mega Man X 1 through 3 that were made for the SNES.
Yeah, that are on the Nintendo eShop.
We're also doing there's also two more projects that we're working on. One that's going to be all three of us again, and probably is going to be much funner time than Dark Souls. And another one that's going to be just Legend and Zero themselves.
Okay, but that final one is still a work in progress because I
That's
want to get
that's
all of this stuff
That's
done.
very much a work in progress considering what game it is.
Yeah.
You'll have to. We're not giving any hints for that one, fuckers.
I'll just say this.
Hey.
I'll just say this. It's either going
It's going to be dark, it's going to be dangerous, and it's going to be deadly.
Or it's going to be campy as fuck.
Or it's going to be campy as fuck, god damn it.
We don't know what it's going to be.
Well, then again, even in that game, there was murder.
Yeah.
There is so much bullshit in that game that I can't believe that they even it's going to be made into an MMO. I just can't believe it.
Oh, that's news to me. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that off camera. Any word? Oh yeah, and there's also going to be a bug type review sometime in the near future.
And also my poison type review if I can get these two chuckleheads to edit my script.
Well, you don't need us to edit your script, but if you want us to edit your script, we'll do that.
Well, I need you to because I'm pretty sure I went a little too damn long on it.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll go ahead and we need to do some death recordings. This is Leo Force.
This is Dead Zero.
And this is Legend Hunters signing out.
Later, guys.
Ciao.
I'm hungry.